Wow, that actually looks pretty good. All right. Sorry for the changing this. That looks pretty good. Out of the way.
Yeah. Oh,
All right, cool.
I still am a computer.
Right, it's the computer.
Not because I'm actually a
Not because
ghost.
you're pale, no. Oh, that looks great.
Hey, what's up, you guys?
What's up? It's John and Kat here. First,
New internet, who dis?
yeah,
New backdrop, who dis?
yeah. So hopefully we look much better in terms of internet-wise.
Yeah, because we're just hopeless
Yeah,
in terms of
looks.
otherwise wise.
Otherwise-wise.
Otherwise wise.
But yeah. So this is first time doing a fireside chat, which is so we're out by our alpaca barns. And hey Rick.
Hi, Rick.
So we are outside. We got a nice roaring fire going in the fire pit. I'm just gonna kick that piece back in, actually.
Yeah, there will probably be some up and down due to rogue logs rolling out and/or adding more to keep it roaring. So yeah, we got we skipped our live last week because we were trying really hard to finish the barn that's not behind us, but the one that's in front of us, and the pasture. We had to get everything done by this past weekend. So instead of streaming for an hour, we took the last hour of daylight
To work on the
that.
fence.
Right.
Yep.
Optimum is awful. Optimum, I think, is the worst internet we've ever had. Because we had that in our old place. But
Yep.
here, what did we just switch to?
Spectrum.
Spectrum. And I think it's quite good.
Well, so the house is right
look
here.
at how clear we look now that I'm
Yeah,
loaded.
see, that looks great.
Yeah.
So this is the house right back here. So like way, 150, 100 feet away, and we're just on the regular internet. We're not on an extender or anything like
and
that.
we have an extender, but like weirdly, the extender won't push the internet all the way out here, but the regular router will.
Yeah.
So, I wonder if we're just loud enough because we're a little far away. Are we loud enough, or should we move that closer? Because I would imagine that the fire might be like kind of loud in the background.
How's that? That's much closer to us.
It is much closer. Is that better sound-wise? Oh, hey, the Geocache family. How's it going?
It'd be ambiance.
Yeah.
Ambience.
Ambience. It's funny how white I look and how like red you look.
Well, but if you see now, I look white. Hey, Samira.
Hey, Samira. Are you looking forward to the Big E on Saturday? Because we are.
Yes.
Time. Oh, it's gonna be super fun. I'm really excited. I think I'm gonna like fast on Friday.
Yeah.
Just like go in my like hungriest form.
So for those of you who don't know, the Big E is the Eastern States Exposition that they have every year. Well, actually, they didn't have it last year. But yeah, they have it every year in Massachusetts, and it's like a big festival that kind of celebrates it's like a county fair, but for like the Northeast.
Yeah, and there's like an agricultural component to it, which we're excited for. There's gonna be a alpaca show that day, which I think we'll go watch. Right?
Definitely.
And then it's mostly eating and stuff. Oh, 5 times already this year. Have you been sick yet?
Well, because Samira lives
20 minutes
real
from
close,
there, she said, yeah.
We're like an hour and a half, something like that.
Yeah, it's a hike.
But it's something we've done every year we were able to.
Yeah, besides last year.
Yeah.
Because it was canceled last year?
I think
or
so.
were we just not interested?
No, well, either way.
Yeah.
Whether it was canceled or not, I don't think we would have gone.
No, I don't think so either.
So.
So.
We once again didn't prepare anything to talk about.
Yeah, it was canceled.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I mean, that's probably a good idea because who knows what was happening last year at this time.
It was crazy last year at this time. I mean, it was crazy all of last year.
Yeah, it was just like a roller coaster of like either it's maybe okay or no, it's not. Like,
Yeah.
I can hear the doggies barking live. Oh, echo barking.
Yeah.
New alpacas. Yes, so that's definitely on the list of things to talk about. So, we jump right into that.
Sure.
Yes. Yeah, I plan on, if you want to watch the alpaca show with us, but we can just meet up. Like, I'll have my phone with me and we can just text. I figure we can, like, eat a couple weird things together.
Yeah.
But if you've been 5 times already, you probably don't want to spend the whole day with us because we're going to do, like, the whole experience.
Right. Yeah. Well, and we're going to go do the alpaca things. And,
I think that's, like, right first thing in the morning.
yeah. Well, and hopefully they have the sheep shearing.
Yeah.
That's something we always go see.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay, so alpacas. So I drove up to Vermont on Saturday night, and then picked up the alpacas at around like 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday, and drove them back here. And so far, they're in their new fence area. They're settled in well.
Hey, Bomber Steve.
Oh, hey, Bomber Steve.
Yeah, so they have settled in well. They're very nice.
Yep, and they're cute.
They are very cute.
And we're introducing them by name one at a time over on Instagram.
So that we can remember their names also.
Yes, because like learning 5 new names all at once has been a thing.
Sure has.
But so our plan was, and this is maybe like spoiler alert in case anybody watches.
But that's fine.
Yeah.
There's only 7 people here.
Right.
So.
Okay, so the plan was to have the situation where the gates are going to open that we talked about in Monday's video ready and finished, so that way we could let these new 5 alpacas meet our current 18 or however many.
It was gonna be 25 if we got 8, so we had 17, so there's 14 in here.
Okay, so the plan was to let these 14 meet with these 5 and to see if the 5 from Vermont this summer like remembered or seemed to remember the 5 from Vermont this weekend, because I was expecting that to be like very, very, very cute. Hey, Em.
How's that? Is that okay?
Yeah, it's fine with me. Okay, so I was anticipating that to be like very, very cute, and I was expecting like a big like we're reunited, you know, like
Disney movie type.
Yes, like slow-mo running towards each other, alpacas.
Noses.
Yeah, like maybe even like an actual like hug of the neck or something. Okay.
It's not what happened.
So the alpacas that we just got this weekend, we've got them separated. And we had our vet run a fecal test.
Fecal float.
Fecal float.
I think that's what it's called.
Sounds like boatloads of fun. And it didn't come back good.
No.
So we have to keep these girls separated from those girls for at least 30 days.
Well, and so they came from the same, I forget if you said this, but they came from the same place that we got the Vermont 5 from. That farm decided that they were getting out of the alpaca game, so they reached out to us and said, hey, do you want the rest of these alpacas? And we were like, sure. Yes, definitely.
Right.
And so practicing good biosecurity, which I think ended up being very good.
Yeah, I feel lucky that we did that, because before I've definitely been like, oh, it'll probably be fine.
Yeah,
like kind of casual about it.
Yep. But so we and it was actually pretty good. So I'm really glad that we found this vet.
Yes, me too.
Because we didn't have, our previous vet was okay. He was weird and he was really hard to get a hold of. And
we would like call him and be like, could you come out? And he'll be like, not necessary.
Well, and he would also be like, should we call the office? And he's like, no, you just got to text through me. And it was very inconvenient.
Raining ash on us.
Yeah, that's fine. So anyway, so we found this vet and they're how far away? Like 30, 35?
It's like 40
minutes?
plus minutes, yeah.
So they're in like the farm country of Connecticut, like up north. So it was just nice, because otherwise the only other way that I knew of to get like a fecal test done was to send it to Yukon, which is like even further. That's like an hour and a half from us.
So we would probably mail it, and you have to mail it in like special biohazard.
Right. And so I think like the test at Yukon was like $20, but then like shipping it would have been like 15, 20 or more. And then the test at our vet was 45, so it was a little more expensive, but
alpaca barn behind us.
Still very good. And so what they came back with was Giardia, which they said was very uncommon to find in alpacas. So who knows where they got it from.
They said that the most common farm animal to be infected with that particular parasite is cattle.
Yeah.
So.
And as far as we know, they don't have cattle up there.
Yeah, there were no cattle to be seen.
But I mean, maybe they used manure to like.
Oh, could be.
Amend their soil or something like that.
But I wouldn't imagine that they're amending their soil if they didn't even have a hay source.
That is true.
So the reason why that these people were rehoming their alpacas is because they have 2 little kids, and the kids have, hobbies and stuff, and they're just getting like busier in general. They also didn't have a vet that was familiar with alpacas up there, so they were really struggling with vet care, which is something that I like absolutely sympathize with.
Yeah.
And they also said that they didn't have
a good hay source.
A good hay source, and she said that they don't have like a food source, like nobody local to her stocks the food that they need to eat, so they need to order it, but it's like a 2-week lead time, so if they time it wrong, they end up with no food for a period, which like that's not ideal.
No.
So like I totally get.
Yeah.
I think it's probably good that they're getting out of alpacas.
For sure. One, and it makes me feel good that they came to us and they were like, because they're nice people, right?
Yes.
And so they trusted us with their girls, and we're going to trust us with their boys, but we have enough boys.
Don't we all? Yeah, it is like pitch black out right now. That's wild. It's 7-11 and
I know,
dark.
It sucks.
Yeah. Here, you want to hold my laptop for a second? I'm going to throw on
Sure.
another log.
So, thanks, Em.
What did he say?
Love the Polish shirt. Spent Sunday afternoon shredding cabbage for, hold on. It's not, isn't it Gołąbki? I thought, but anyway, kapusta. I don't know. My grandmother used to make, is that stuffed cabbage? And she used to make this really good stuffed peppers too. All these old Polish recipes. But
I thought stuffed peppers were Italian.
Well, I don't think Samira says
Team all girls.
I don't have enough boys.
Oh, well, you've got the one. Isn't that enough?
One was enough for a very long time for us.
Here, yeah.
So,
no, but I could imagine having 2 girls wanting a boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're into that kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm so glad you guys could take all the girls. You're growing so much. Yeah. And like potentially like a little too like fast, too much. So I was talking with the HVAC guy today, and he was like, "Oh, how are the emus?" And I was like, "Well, they're gone."
Well, it's funny. Look how much brighter it is.
Yeah, that's
going. But now it's hot.
Is it hot?
Yes. My legs are hot.
But yeah, he was asking how the emus are, and I was like trying to explain how we sold them because we had like too much going on and da-da-da. And then I'm like, yeah, but since then we've like basically tripled the number of alpacas that we have, and like multiplied by 10 the number of chickens that we have.
Yeah, but chickens.
Oh my god, that's.
Yeah, it's raging. It's practically daylight now. But I mean, the chickens, like the aggressive growth with chickens is not as, they don't need as much space.
Yes, we still have the peacocks.
And yes, we still have the peacocks. We thought about selling them, but I think we're making really good progress. We're having a very good balance between getting stuff done really fast and also doing a good job with it. I think we are erring more on the side of fast.
But still good.
But still good, and like, because we have these, you can see the woven wire fence behind us with the T-posts, and like that's not our ideal fencing, but like, I mean, we strung together this fencing in just a few hours. We had especially because the first time we did this, it was a very similar situation where Cat went up to Vermont.
I know, it was like the exact same
Yeah.
thing happened again. It was deja vu.
And, you
like,
know,
oh, Cat's got a lead on some free alpacas. Finish this fence.
Right. Well, because it was like as we were coming to the end of finishing the barn, Cat posted on one of the alpaca groups like, "Oh, we got new 40 acres and we have a new barn. We're ready for new alpacas." And someone was like, "I'll get you some this weekend."
Yeah.
And Cat was like, "Okay."
Be right there.
Yeah. So it was a rush to finish
This
it.
is buffering. Are we buffering?
I don't know.
Try refreshing and see if that helps.
Yeah.
Because this doesn't say that we're lost.
It does not.
But my computer is lost.
Your computer is lost.
You guys are killing it. Be proud. Looks good and it's functioning. And I think the thing, so the thing about the fencing that John was talking about, so like this woven wire, like it's not very pretty, but it is very functional.
Yeah.
And I think, because I was thinking about, like, if we had been at the old Redding farm and Felix had been born with the 3-rail fencing.
Yeah, we would have been in some trouble.
Yeah, he would have been able to get out.
Yeah. Well, that's like with the gate that I made. We had to put that wire on it. We would have had to run welded wire around the whole
Yeah.
thing.
So even though it's not as cute, I mean, it's kind of
functional.
working better.
Well, I like your idea of eventually we can have wood posts and then this with wood on top of it too.
Mhm.
And then we can work to like make it really tight so that there's no bends.
But in addition to this just being cheaper, there's no, like, the cost alone would have been super prohibitive.
Oh yeah, totally.
To do the 3 rails.
Absolutely. And we just couldn't, because originally we were gonna do like our sawmill top cut fence, but we couldn't source enough of those top cuts to make it like a real fence.
So when I was driving up and down and all around,
Mhm.
I was noticing some people had a woven wire looking fence, but it was like 8 feet tall, and it was attached to like telephone pole looking things. Do they make this in 8-foot tall sections?
Probably not 8, but 6 foot probably.
Maybe it was 6 and I was just exaggerating it. Because I was wondering, I was thinking about the peas when we peas overrated.
Yeah.
So, because the plan for where the peas are going to go, because right now they're in like a little house and it has a little outside bit. It's, what is it? 4, 8, 12 feet long?
No, it's like 18 feet
18
long.
feet long. So right now they're in a kind of small
Something like
house. And the plan is to make a bigger house for them. Are we going to make that 2 sets of 4 foot, or are we going to look for like a 6-foot fence?
I think we're gonna look for a 6-foot fence.
Yeah, okay.
Because then we would also need gigantic. We would need like 12-foot T-posts.
How would we even pound those in? But are we not just going to attach it to trees out there? We'll need
I'm not sure because or we could do the wood. I just want it to look
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
I
do
would
too.
like it to be like straight.
Right. I
So-
wonder if we string wood, like attach wood between the trees, like screw the wood to the trees, and then we can lay it all across the...
We'll have to see because I would like it again to just be like a straight line like this one was.
Oh, I see. You don't...
Because it's because you weren't here when we did
No,
the
I
one
wasn't.
behind us. It was
It
an
was-
absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
So if we can keep, and I also just I like it better.
Hey, TNS.
Hey TNS, even though it's not, we'll see how it goes because I'm not sure. I think the trees are also pretty far apart. So
So the thing about the woven wire, which I didn't know, because like John just said, when we made this pasture, I wasn't here.
I did a lot of research about metal fencing.
It has a lot more give to it than the welded wire. So if you're going like kind of down a curve or up a curve or need to like run around a rock, it'll like bend and flex much more and stay straighter versus the welded wire.
Right.
Just like,
Well, because
has a panic
the welded
attack.
wire is fixed
Yeah.
to be flat. So if you come across a part where it's flat and then you go down like this,
It'll never
it's
recover.
not going to work. But the
Yeah.
woven wire just has like little, it's woven. So like it can move up and down and side to side. So it looks much better, especially on the crazy terrain that we have here.
And seeing this fence go up compared to like how the chicken stuff
Yeah,
goes,
it's way faster.
and it just like looks better.
It's also much thicker.
Yeah.
So yeah, versatile and stronger. Yeah, all of the above.
The only thing, and well, so what are these holes? Are these 4 inches by 4 inches?
Yeah, so they have 4 by 4 I think at the top, and then 2 by 4 at the bottom, something like that.
Because the only thing I was wondering about is like things reaching through.
Everything that I've read about peacocks is that it's not things that raccoons that you need to worry about.
But what about when they have chicks?
Well, yeah, I guess we'll have to figure something out then.
Hey, Jesse, it is fiery. We're having a fireside chat. Which, by the way, that title that's not original thought. That's stolen from Pepper Harrow Farms.
Is it?
Yes.
Well, that's also from like Teddy Roosevelt.
Oh, okay.
So it's not.
Oh, okay. So they stole it too.
Yeah, Teddy Roosevelt used to do fireside chats on the radio.
To like address the whole nation.
Address the nation. Yeah.
All right. Well.
How about that? Presidential American fact.
How about that? I was just thinking that we should. Well, in my head, I was feeling guilty about.
I didn't even know that that's what Pepper Harrow called it. But
yeah, it's all remember all like
FDR.
Winter.
Sorry, Mom.
History, wrong history.
They had the same last name, so at least there's that.
Okay. So what else? Oh, we'll look into fencing for our new property. Glad we're discussing. Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah. 10 out of 10.
Because you can
don't even look into it. Just get it.
Because the other thing, so this is, I think it may be 50 inches tall or 48. It's somewhere in that neighborhood. And you know, if you have like pigs, or I know a lot of people use like the hog panels or whatever, but this is, you get 330 feet. For us, the price went up, and so it's $210. But like for 100-foot roll of 4 foot tall welded wire, I think you're paying over $100 anyway. So it's per linear foot of fence, it's cheaper.
And welded wire has its place.
Oh, for sure. Like we use it for for the skirt for all of our.
Yeah, this wouldn't really
chickens.
Work for that.
Right.
Because I think a little animal could just get right through those holes.
Totally. And this is, we're trying to keep coyotes out of the alpaca fence, which this will do. It's really strong, and I mean, I guess I could jump over it. But anyway, this works for us.
Yeah.
And I think it's
good. Perim fencing.
Well.
Man, woman in the arena, my favorite Teddy Roosevelt speech. History, not my thing.
You have a 110-pound bloodhound? Goodness.
Yeah, that's big.
That's big.
But I mean, Pepper. So, we went to the vet.
Ugh.
Yeah. So we have updated weights on all of our dogs. Pepper, we went from saying that she was 165 to her true weight is now 160.
I don't think that's accurate.
No, you think?
I think she's more than that.
Yeah.
Because she was moving around on that scale. There's no way they got an accurate weight on her.
And peanut butter, we were saying, was 125, and she weighed 110?
No, yeah, something. But again, she's gained weight. I mean, listen, I've gained weight. 100%.
We've all gained weight. COVID's been hard times.
Yeah.
And Little Pebbles broke 100. She weighed in at 102.
Sure did.
Little shit. What are you looking at?
I don't know. I keep hearing something over there.
So when we were loading logs onto this fire, a spider about this big came like hopping out, and we were like, oh, yikes.
What are they called? Fisher spiders?
Yeah, I think so. Those big ones. Oh, there we go. Oh my God, you actually got them on the scale.
Barely.
Yeah, I don't know. The vet that we went to, so since we moved, we're trying to pick a new vet. I'm not 100% sold on that vet.
That's fine.
Okay.
They were recommended. They were also very expensive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was like over $600 to visit the vet with the 3 of us.
But they got all their yearly shots.
Except Pebbles didn't. Anyway, the vet there had a scale that was only like this far off the ground, so.
They were able to just kind of walk right on it.
Right.
Yeah. But like you put any of our dogs on that table that goes and
there was none of that happening.
Pepper is terrified of our little desktop printer.
Yeah.
Any mechanical sounds, she is not.
But the vet in Wilton that we used to go to, like the very first vet that we ever used to go to, the dogs would just like hop up onto that table, like even when it was at like full height.
Yeah.
They just like weren't afraid of that vet.
I guess we could still go to our old vet.
Yeah.
Like, is it how far is it?
45 minutes.
Yeah. So we're going there to get Pebbles spayed. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, they really just need to go to the vet once a year. Maybe twice.
Yeah, and if there's an emergency, we have the emergency vet right around the corner that we like.
Which we have gone to.
Yeah, I know. Who's also got a ton of our money.
But
maybe see if anyone tonight wants a dog. Why do you?
Well, we could also see if that place does non-emergencies.
I don't think they do. I think I called them and asked them.
Oh, okay.
Or like I called and asked about like just getting a regular vet appointment, and they basically said like they don't do appointments, so it's all first come first serve. And they were like, and we have a 6-hour wait right now
can't
for
do
non-emergencies.
That. Right. Yeah. No, I remember that with Pebbles when she went off the roof. Like, you can come by, you're gonna have to sit in the parking lot for 3 hours.
Right.
But their money now. That's right.
Yeah, no money is really our money.
Yeah.
It's like as soon as money floats into the store, it just goes flying out. Like 90% of it's spoken for before it even shows up on our doorstep. What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Should I put more on, do you think?
Sure. What else we want to talk about?
I was wondering if we wanted to talk about the chicks in the mail.
And the problems?
Yeah. Woo.
Wow.
That lit right up.
Lit right up. Well, honestly, I barely retain any of the information of like the chicks that we got in the mail.
Okay.
So maybe, well, so we got, let's see, so we, in the past 2 weeks, we have gotten I Am Samani's in the mail. And then we got, we were supposed to get, well, there was a misunderstanding, I think. So we ordered from a guy on Facebook from one of the chicken groups. Wow. That is a fire. Some blue-laced red Wyandottes. And so I guess, like many other varieties of chickens, blue-laced red Wyandottes they don't breed true to color. So like if you breed one blue to another, you could get blue, black, or splash. Is that correct? So same thing as like our silkies that we have that are blue, black, or splash. Like it doesn't matter whether you breed black to black or blue to blue or blue to splash or blue to black.
Yeah, I think black to black would do it, but not blue to blue.
But so anyway, so we didn't know that, but we asked the guy for blue-laced red Wyandotte chicks.
Right, chicks, not eggs.
Not eggs. And so we were assuming that we were going to get blue-laced red Wyandotte chicks, but what we got was a mix of blue, black, and splash. Well, who knows what the actual mix is going to be. I mean, it's possible we could end up with no blues whatsoever.
Once had to pay $300 for an emergency bunny vet bill. Apparently they're an exotic pet. Lesson learned. Oh my gosh. What? You hear a rattlesnake?
It must just be leaves. Leaves.
Just leaves. Yeah, I think... What was our worst trip to the vet was Peanut right before we left for the 4th of July weekend, right?
Well, that was certainly the worst experience.
Yeah, most stressful.
Well, and trying to hand feed her like charcoal.
Yeah, that wasn't fun. Anyway, so these chicks.
Yes.
So I have been looking forever for these blue-laced red Wyandottes.
Wyandottes. Forever, she says. It was like, it's one of those things where like she sees a picture of one of them. Hey, Skinner Farms. And like,
wait, is this new internet? Yes, thank you for noticing.
Yeah.
It was one of the first things we talked about. I think there was only Ann and Rick here.
Yeah.
So thank you for noticing. New internet hootis.
Yeah. It was one of those. It was actually because of work, and because we have all of our files up on a server, and so trying to upload these files to a server was a nightmare. So we upgraded our internet. Boss paid for the
the difference between the cheap internet and the expensive internet.
Which is great.
So thank you.
And it's made a huge difference, both in my work, only in my work. It's the only thing I use the internet for.
Well, it's not like he pays our whole internet bill.
That's true. Just pays for the work portion.
Yeah, so it's also helped, like, uploading videos to YouTube used to take like several hours. Yeah. And now it's just like minutes.
Yes. So previously our internet was 15 megabits download, 2 megabits upload. Now it's 400 megabits download and 20 megabits upload. And so even out here when our house is way back there, we're not, it's nice.
I feel like you clear. Talking about all these numbers is kind of like the nerd equipment.
At the PTO.
Yeah, and I'm just like.
Yeah. So it's got the L735 loader, so it can lift like a total of 1,470 pounds. But then also the bucket itself weighs like 300 pounds. So your actual lift capacity is something in the range of 1,100 pounds.
When I was driving the trailer, at one point it took me under like a fairly low underpass. What's the height on the trailer?
I think it's only like 8 feet.
I mean, it's definitely. Oh, the trailer is only 8 feet.
Yes.
Yeah, because I went under something that was 10.2. And I like went under like fairly slow, and I was like ducking while I went under as if that was gonna help. So next time I go somewhere, before I leave, I want a measurement.
That's fine.
Because I was like, and I also like there was somebody behind me and coming in front, so if I was gonna have a fail, it was gonna be like a very public fail. And I like almost pulled over and was like, go on ahead. But
well, you know, if that happens, you go through it on the middle, so that way you block everybody. But usually, no, the middle is like the highest point. Yeah.
The most highest point. I just like remember on our old street how at that far end of the train tracks, I've watched multiple trucks run into that.
There was one time, like, I don't know what the Eversource trucks did under there because they must have been too tall. But I remember there was a time where there was like a tree company and they had like 3 trucks. They had like the lumber truck, the chip truck, and like they were all just like stopped. And there was like 6 dudes out there going, "Okay, go." Stop.
But at least they did that because the last right before we moved, or maybe it was even after we moved, somebody was stopped like trying to measure himself up. Oops. And he like flagged me around, so I went around and I stopped on the other side so I could watch. And he like went kind of slow, but was like boing. It's just like not a good look.
Yeah.
Owen Wilson's Wow.
Wow.
What's that from?
He says it in all of his
movies. Oh, it's just how he says it?
You could let the air out of the tires, yeah.
Yeah, that's what, I mean, if you're like stuck, but also like...
Well, it depends on how stuck is stuck.
But if I'm in the middle of nowhere, Vermont, I should just know, because it's like letting the air out of the tires isn't good, because then I'm on the other side of the bridge with flat tires.
No, totally. And it's not as tall as it looks. Because I remember when we were taking the trailer to that auto body shop, or the mechanics, to get them to look at the turn signal, there's that one bridge on that hill near that other farm. There's a sort of low bridge, and I was like, but it was like miles away from it. So.
Right.
But we can always measure it.
We're a hoot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then, so the other chickens that we bought in the mail, bringing it back, were I Am Samanis that we got from a different breeder who we've never bought from before. So the first 2 times we've bought I Am Samanis, we've bought hatching eggs, and we bought from the same farm both times. The first time we had a really rotten hatch, but it was our fault because it was like over Thanksgiving and our incubator got unplugged for like 24 hours. Because it was like sitting on our kitchen countertop, which like probably wasn't the best idea. And then the next time we had ordered 12, got 14, hatched 8. Does that all sound right?
Sure. Like I said,
oh, excuse me.
There's been so many hatching eggs and stuff. I just can't.
Yeah.
My brain just doesn't retain that information.
Yeah.
But that sounds, because we had a fairly good.
Yeah, I was definitely satisfied by our hatch. So then, but we wanted to get, like, we wanted a little bit of genetic diversity too, because I was a little bit worried about like having everything from the same person. So we ordered some chicks because I contacted them. They had chicks and hatching eggs for sale on their website, and obviously the hatching eggs are a lot less. But she told me, she was like, oh, like probably pretty much sold out of hatching eggs for the year.
Super long wait list.
Yeah.
Again, because they're cheaper.
Right. But she said, but if you want to do chicks, I kind of let chicks jump the line. So we were like, okay, we'll do that. And she said the chicks were 20 each.
Mm-hmm.
And we got 12. She sent 13. But 2 were dead on arrival, which is like, you know, when we ordered those 150.
Well, they were a week old or something like that.
Right, yeah. So that was, I was like a little confused by that, because usually I think that hatcheries send day-old chicks because like right at birth, they've just absorbed the yolk.
Right, and so they still have 48 to 72 hours to not need any sort of food or water.
Right.
Because that's and they are super fragile when they're little babies, but they don't need food, they don't need water. So if there's like a problem with the post office and they get stuck for a day,
Shouldn't be.
it's not as bad as an older chick. But I get, but also older chicks are more hardy.
Theoretically.
Well, they can handle temperature changes a lot better.
But so we ordered 150 mixed breed chicks. Oh, thank you. I'm surprised you can see it because of your color blindness and also this lighting.
I was gonna pull this out.
Oh, my wings. So we ordered
Jesse, you don't like my hair?
150 chicks from like a hatchery. I think it was Meyer. Meyer hits me with those emails. I've got to unsubscribe. You know what they sent? They sent out a pumpkin spice email, and they just put all their like orange or orangish chickens, and they were like, add some pumpkin spice to your flock. I thought that was pretty funny.
But your reasoning for this one was good, because the 150 chicks were rainbow layers.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a bunch of different breeds that all lay different colored eggs. The only colors that we're getting from our egg layers are white and brown right now. So it'd be nice to get, and it's mostly brown. So it'd be nice to get more whites. It would be nice to get some blues. And I think we have plans to breed olive eggers at some point, right?
Yeah, hopefully. I would love to do that.
It takes so long.
I should show that picture that you showed me.
So we have, that was one really nice thing about the eggs that we had at the old Redding farm.
Yeah, lovely color.
It was a really nice mix of colors, and I liked putting the eggs. So Kat would wash all of the eggs all the time before we put them out on the egg table, and like I would like putting them in, so you get a white egg, brown egg, white, blue, brown, white, blue, brown, white. It was cool. So, but anyway, so very few of those.
Oh, you can't see that. How about that for an egg rainbow?
That would be nice.
That's like, this person must have so many chickens.
Look at this comment that it hid for Jesse.
Is that like a threat, according to the YouTube
No,
algorithm?
I'm sure it's something like inappropriate, but it's fine.
Potentially sexual or something.
Yeah. I mean, it's getting back there. At some point in the future, it's all going to come off, but
No, it's not.
at some point in the future, yes.
No.
Yeah. But anyway, so we only lost a couple.
4.
Yeah.
So out of 156, because they sent 6 extras, 4 didn't make it to us. And then out of 13, 2 didn't make it, and then 3 died within a couple hours of arriving.
Yeah.
Which is like awful. Like we never have that happen, except with the Polish, but that was a whole other situation.
Yeah.
But man, oh day, and like to pay $20 a chick and have 3 of them drop dead. Oh gosh.
Well, luckily, it's a very nice person
She's
that we
so
got them
nice.
from, and like exactly how we want to like run our egg hatching business. I think
Mm-hmm.
like where
flexible, willing
also
to work with you, giving you options.
Exactly. But I don't know that.
I don't want to sell
chicks. We don't want to ship chicks.
No.
Yeah. So we are. Yeah. Temperature varies a lot right here.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I don't think we necessarily want to be in the shipping chick.
No, I don't think so.
Business.
And said, I was hoping for some olive eggers. They all turned out to be roosters. No green eggs and ham this season. That's the most frustrating thing. And when we did the egg swap, I don't know if you felt this too, but I for sure felt like we got an abundance of roosters in that series of hatches. Do you remember how many roosters? No, it's all just
again. It's just they all exploded. I mean, so in the past year, the number of chickens that have
come through this
come
farm.
through us, a lot.
Yeah, north of 500. Do you think?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I mean, we've sold a bunch.
Yep.
And we've given some to the local farm store.
That takes roosters.
We got to get the number of that lady from.
Yeah. How many chickens do we currently have? Ann wants to know.
God only knows. A lot.
I was estimating it at 200.
But it's got to be more than that, because there's at least 100 on the porch.
Right. And you think there's more than 100 down there?
Well,
An average of 10 and 10 coops? It's probably not more than 250.
You want to count them?
Yeah, I'll count them tomorrow morning.
Count 'em. Okay.
We had a lot of roosters this year. So, TNS, since you did the swap with us, you know what I was thinking? Have you ever seen on, general Facebook buffoonery, how people talk about, ways that you can, guarantee to hatch only hens? And people talk about, refrigerating the eggs first. Mm. So...
Oh, those ones that got stuck. Is that where you're going with that?
Well, not necessarily. Yes, those, but also I was just thinking about those chicks or the eggs all traveled through the mail in basically the dead of winter. And granted, those specific ones went to California, but I bet those were exposed to very cold temperatures.
Well, and they got stuck for a week.
The TNS.
Going to TNS, yeah.
No, those were stuck for 3 weeks. that just hatched one rooster. That's how they got their frizzle.
Rooster?
Yeah.
Oh, well, so there you go. That
I know.
cancels it out right there.
So you always hear people be like, no, if you want to hatch only hens, just refrigerate the eggs first, because the male embryo can't survive that temperature.
Well, and you hear the same thing with the pointy eggs.
Yeah,
and,
I think it's all malarkey.
It's all malarkey.
I just don't buy any of it.
No, it's all,
Make a chicken counting contest.
People used to say the more you shave your face, the thicker your beard will grow in.
Yes, science says that's not true.
Well, I can also confirm that that's not true, because I used to try to do that. There was a point in time when I was in college that I would spend 10 minutes a day just envisioning my beard growing fuller and thicker, and it didn't work.
Oh. Well.
Didn't know that about me.
No,
huh?
I didn't. But I spent my time in college killing zombies.
Yeah.
So to each their own.
Playing video games and going snowboarding, right?
Yeah, that was basically college. Maybe a class here or there, but I'm trying to think of a chicken counting contest. I'm trying to think of how we could make that a game show and make it.
Well, the game show would be to know how many chickens we have on the porch and then ask people to count them, because they all run around.
Well, I'm wondering if we could have some kind of, because what was that game show that we were watching when we were in Michigan where people had 24 hours to count quarters?
Oh yeah, every second counts.
No, that was a different one, but same era of us watching game shows on Netflix.
Yeah, I forget.
Does anybody know that game show that I'm talking about where they had to count quarters for 24 hours straight, and then there was some trivia component to it or something, because after they had their counts, that was their bank, and whoever was closest won. Anyway, so I'm trying to think of some way that we could have a race to count chickens, but then we would need a ref, your mom or someone, to have a true count.
Right. That's the problem.
And then we could see who's a better, faster chicken counter.
Well, it was the same thing where like at our old place, the maximum number of chickens we could have was 50.
50s, right.
And the joke always was like,
Go ahead, count 'em.
if the zoning officer ever came by, I'd be like, okay, count them.
Yeah, except for there was that one time, remember we like opened the door and we were like counting them as they were popping out?
Oh yeah, we had way more than 50.
So many more. We were in one of like 4 coops, and we had opened the door and I was counting them, and I got up to like 45, and I was like, maybe we should just stop counting.
We should go inside and forget this.
Plausible deniability cannot exist if I count 5 more chickens in this one coop.
And we have the zoning officer coming tomorrow morning to give us the final check off on our
But here it
permits.
doesn't matter. We can have as many chickens as we want.
I still just think I think he's going to be, we'll see.
Yeah, Jesse, there was definitely a not sleeping component to that show. And there was also, like, they weren't allowed to, like, write anything down.
You wouldn't do very well at that.
No, I would be awful at it. Like, I don't even think
You'd
I
end
would.
up killing somebody.
Well, I don't even think I would, like, make it to the point of the game show. Like, I think 12 hours into it, I'd be like, I'm leaving. Have a good night, everybody. It was fun meeting you all. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, it's like guessing beans in a jar, only with chickens.
Yeah. But again, we need to have a solid count.
Right. What does Jesse say? In that time we had the Smurf hat and we did activities.
Mini golf and pizza is
I
on.
definitely remember
Can
that
I give this
because
to you?
I remember we like picked up Duncan that day, but I don't know why we're talking about like how that related to. Anyway, yeah, maybe it was just a roostery year, but I do think that like colder temperatures maybe even like do bring out the roosters. Like maybe what people are saying about like how the colder temperature makes it more likely to hatch hens. I feel like if anything is true, it's the exact opposite. At least from the experience that we had.
Whew. That is hot.
Yeah. The $1 Million Game was the show? Is that, I'm gonna Google that. Is that right? That doesn't like necessarily ring a bell, but. It was on Netflix. I think it was like, oh no, that is, oh, Awake, that's what it was called. Yeah, Awake, the $1 Million Game. That's right. Oh, you know, that's interesting because I was just about to say, I think that was like, yeah, you win. I sort of remember it being kind of like a low budget game, but actually I'm looking at these pictures and the set is really nice. I bet that was really expensive to produce. I wonder why they stopped making that. Yeah, Awake, and then they had to do these silly little, like...
Oh, yeah.
Like dexterity tests. Yeah, okay. That's funny. If anybody like has Netflix and wants something kind of fun and silly to watch, would recommend. Mm-hmm. Oh, I was talking about things I remember from college. Yeah, that was just a one-time Smurf hat.
I didn't know about the Smurf hat.
Yeah, Jesse came up over like a Halloween, I guess. Must have been. Did you like paint yourself blue that trip? Or just wear a blue t-shirt? I remember you being blue. It was messed up but strangely addicting. Any show like that, I just like I get like hooked into and watch like every episode of. It's just part of my personality.
Remember that one with that guy, the Beast? The trivia was the big fat guy who sat at the top of the thing.
Oh, the mean guy, the mean British
Yeah.
guy. Yeah.
I like that one.
He couldn't have been. Was he called the Beast?
Mm-hmm.
I thought Mr. Beast would like have Beast pretty well trademarked. No.
No.
Yeah.
Probably Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
Mr. Beast is my father.
I did paint myself blue once, but not at your college. That would have been terrible. Anyway.
Thank you, Bomber Steve.
Okay, anything else going on around here that we need to talk about?
Besides, you all just keeping me up.
Yeah, seriously.
Should have put the chickens away like an hour ago.
Yeah, probably. How long do you think it's going to take you to build the blueberry retaining wall from where you're at now?
I'm not sure. We got to talk about how far we're going to go down. Because I think maybe we'll stop where I'm at and just use and fill the rest in. But we'll go look at it.
When it's laid out.
Yeah, because I've come to a spot where we would sort of need to level the land more, and there's a bunch of rocks in there, so it will take some time. So I think it may be more beneficial to just sort of
do what we have so far. Yeah. Well, and so can we get a view of the fire? Good suggestion. Oh, newbie steaders, hi, how are you? There, spin us around. Bonfire.
Should we just talk while the fire's going?
Yeah, do you want to just watch the fire and we kind of yell from the background?
Do you guys want me to answer a spam call?
No, don't do that.
No?
No.
I already answered it.
Okay, well, they can just listen to us. Okay, I'm currently watching one of our egg swap hens laying eggs in my lavender bush and keep her running in the backyard. That sounds like fun. Okay, so the plan for the blueberries, do you think we'll be digging those up and moving them like the weekend after next? Or not?
I don't know.
So you have all the big rocks placed on the retaining wall?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, the rocks are free. They're coming from, I mean, this property is loaded with rocks in a way that, like...
There's a lot of big rocks.
Yeah, like huge boulders.
Boulders is closer to, is more like it, yeah.
So they're big rocks, and it's been nice for you to have the tractor, right?
Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't have been able to move them without it.
This is like a Yule log.
Yeah. Old Reading farm log.
Yeah, old Reading farm log.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, we'll have to, and maybe it's, because I'll need to go there and mow at some point, I think this week.
Right.
Maybe like tomorrow night or something.
We have dinner with my mom tomorrow.
Friday, and then maybe Friday. So that it's not on the weekend. And maybe it's like we should just measure and see how far we're going to get.
Yeah. Oh, to see like how many feet of plants we have.
Right, although I guess we can, because we know approximately how many we have, right? It's like 75.
Yeah.
So, but maybe like 80, because we got those extra ones stabbed in the back there.
Right.
So.
Yeah, so those will be the first plants that we move. Now, are we gonna buy soil before we move them?
Yeah.
And how much lead time does the soil guy need?
Just a day or two.
Okay.
So that's no big deal. Yeah. I mean, he could probably even do it same day if we call him in the morning.
Yeah.
As long as it's not crazy busy.
I don't know if you're talking loud enough.
Okay. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Should we bring it back?
Yeah. There we go.
Whoa. Looking like a straight up phantom. Like a fluffy phantom.
Whoa. Okay. See, so my little flashlight made a difference.
Yeah, no, I think that flashlight was helpful.
That's right.
I just moved it so it wouldn't fall on the ground.
Whatever.
Okay, so now let's tell scary stories. Yeah. We can't do that because I'll probably have nightmares.
There's this guy on Instagram, I forget what he's called, but he makes like these scary reels. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, reels have become a huge time suck in my life.
Yeah.
I wish I never clicked that button.
Well,
I want to go back in time and never go there.
it's too late now.
Yeah. Okay, so any fun plans for anybody else over the weekend? Is anybody going to do anything exciting? Scary stories from homesteaders.
Scary stories, homesteader style.
Yeah, it's like, a bear broke into my coop and ate all my chickens. That's
or like you have a dream where you canned all of your vegetables, but you forgot to seal them, so they all leaked and went bad. all of your chickens are roosters.
Yeah, that's a scary homesteader story.
Yep.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of scary homesteader stories,
Oh boy.
I think we should move the yarn out of the house.
Okay.
I think we should put it in the attic,
Okay.
the loft.
Sure. Because of moisture content?
Because of mishkas.
Oh, yeah?
I think so.
Okay.
I was, like, while I was walking hay out of the house. Oh, so we turned our house, the big house, into hay storage.
And do you know how you do that?
Just
you
by putting hay in there.
Stuff a whole bunch of hay in there.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was carrying hay out today.
Well, I think there's chipmunks that live in there, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I, like, noticed a few little, because, like, the basket on top.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's get them out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll throw them in the loft. My mom said, Mishka, so proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That's the extent of it.
Yeah.
But I don't no sé cómo se dice mouse in español, so mishkas was the only option. Rob Poley, you got mouse in Spanish lined up?
¿Cómo se dice mouse in español? Will it be always hay storage, or will y'all turn it into living space once again? Probably living space long term, but it's like s'mores, mukbang.
Oh, a s'mores mukbang! Yes, that's a great idea.
Yeah. What? And I think this could work for a thing.
Over the winter, do you think?
I am pro fire.
Yeah.
Or we
were going to talk about the house.
So long term, I think
ultimate goal.
Ultimate, yeah. It would be living space that people can do like a
raton.
Oh, I should have known that because of Demolition Man. It's the carne se rata.
Rata. That sounds better.
But
yeah, I think like we want it to be like a farm stay, Airbnb, like guest house, like gathering place. We could have meetings or like tutorials here. We could hold like knitting clubs or like host breakfasts with the alpacas, like in the house, out of the house, wherever. We want the house to be more used than it is. The really big stopping point on any of those things is the septic tank. That's like insurmountable in our minds.
Well, it's just a gigantic upfront cost.
Right. And like no matter how we like run numbers and try to make a business plan that makes sense,
that number,
it just stops.
Right.
It's like, no, you can't get there.
Because like something like the tractor, where it's like that'll give us years of like functionality, like if we're going to cut down our own trees and like pulling out stumps and even
it's basically a necessity.
The boulders, so it's like that works for us. Like this is like one really big expensive thing that's going to just take crap, literally.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get over that one big speed bump.
Right, I remember you talking about that. A new septic system, and then we backed out. It's like $20K.
They quoted 40.
I think it depends on if you need like the tank, the system, the leaching fields, or
We need all that, and we need to dig the hole, and we have a lot of rocks. And so I think that also incorporated the idea of like where we're going to put it, and if we have ledge, bedrock just sitting here, who knows?
Yeah. So maybe in the like 10-year plan, 5-year plan?
Something. I mean, we move fast and things change a lot in our lives. Like, I mean, we have been married for 4 years.
I know. How wild is that?
So, I mean, that's wild, but also look at like what we were doing 4 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But not even like, if you go back like 5.5 years, we didn't even know each other. And now we're talking like 5 years in the future. Like, whoa, like all the things.
I'll be 40.
Wow. But like all the things that we could accomplish if we went from like not knowing each other to this.
Right. Well, I mean, even like what we did since we bought this place in February.
Right.
So it's what? It's 7 months. So total replacement.
Oh yeah, we had the septic tank at the little house cleaned, and that's only like a couple $100, I think.
Yep.
So that's, I mean, not that it's like no big
Right.
deal, but like, obviously, if you need to have your septic tank cleaned, you just do it. Like, you find that
Right.
couple $100, but to come up with like way more money, 20 grand maximum. Well, I mean, and we haven't, I think 40 grand is just the number that's like kind of in our heads. We haven't gotten any like actual quotes, because
Right.
it's no, whether it's 20 grand, 30 grand, 40 grand, or 10 grand, it doesn't really matter, because we're not
It's a
going
lot.
to do it.
It's a lot of grand that we don't have.
Yeah. There's other priorities.
Yes.
Whichever one of these numbers it is.
Yes.
So, DIY septic tank.
Well, one of the things that the plumber, when he did our sink, when we were talking about the septic, he was like, yeah, well, at least you got the tractor, you can dig your
Dig a
own
big
tank.
hole.
Which-
Can you do that?
Yeah.
No, well, I know that you could physically dig a hole. My question is, like, if a septic company was going to come out, if you were like, okay, hole's here, how much does that save
I
us?
think it depends on the company, because if
Yeah.
it's a company that, well, if they hire an excavator to come out and dig the hole, then yes, that would save us money, because we could just dig the hole.
Right.
But
And Newbie Sitters asked how we met.
so we used to work at Hot Topic together, but she didn't remember me because I used to have long hair and mutton chops.
And I was disinterested.
Disinterested. And then we just, met on a dating app.
Okay, Cupid.
Okay, Cupid.
In case anybody needs to meet someone, I would recommend Okay, Cupid.
Yeah. And, I mean, once she saw this face,
How could you say no?
how could you say?
But so I worked at Hot Topic from the time I was 16 to the time I was 20.
Long
God,
time.
A long
Wasn't it
time.
like 12 years?
It was a dozen years.
Yeah, so 12. So if you were 16, you were
Yeah.
28 when you stopped.
Like a 30-year-old lady working at Hot Topic.
Well, there's plenty of older women
Yeah.
working at Hot Topic, so
I gotta see a pic of the long hair.
you can add me on Facebook and you can see.
Where was I going with this?
Well, they asked how we met.
Yeah.
You worked at Hot Topic for 12 years.
Oh, I was going to talk about Christina. So we both had this manager who I loved. You loved?
Yeah, she was great.
Yeah. And so after I stopped working at Hot Topic and started working at Whole Foods, she and actually like one other person from Hot Topic like followed me there, because I was like, guys, the pay,
Yeah.
it's so good. And I was asking Christina that she was my manager, and then by the time she got over to Whole Foods, I had like kind of risen through the ranks, and I was doing hiring for my department. And I, like, that aside, I just like I had matched with John online, but we hadn't met yet, and I was like, oh, Christina, do you remember a guy named John? He said that he used to work at Hot Topic. And she thought that I was talking about him as like a work reference, and she was like, yeah, I would hire him again. He was a good worker. And I was like, I guess I could take that as
Good
a dating
enough, yeah.
reference too. But then like he knew some of my sister's friends and stuff. So very well connected. And my sister was like, oh, I'm gonna get you the scoop on him.
Never did.
No, she told me he doesn't want to have kids.
Oh.
And I was like,
Great.
I already knew that. Thanks. Like, can we get some actual scoop?
Oh, that's right. And that's all she
That
could
was
get.
the only scoop she ever gave me.
Which I don't remember telling people that in high school.
Well, secret was out. Maybe
Well,
somebody
I
knew
mean-
your old girlfriend.
Not that one. But anyway, I mean,
Secret was
that
out.
came out on the first date anyway, so.
Before.
Was it before?
Yeah, because that was in my, like, quick notes.
Oh, it was the atheist
Okay.
thing. Are we cutting into Mulberry?
I don't know. Well, they're not here, and I don't know if they're going live or not. Well, I first did a pressure test, and then I had them check it once, and it was all hooked up.
You were saying, so Chris is clever crafted gas line on the house, and then had a company come
Oh,
out and
that's
certify
nice.
it.
So you do it, and they're like making sure you're following all the.
Well, because you probably,
Oh, hey, drops.
if you do that, I'm sure you probably pulled the permit? Question mark.
Well, maybe that company would pull the permit, or like
That's
just
what I'm
sign
saying.
off on the permit.
That's what
yeah.
I'm saying, yeah. And yeah, we're the same grade.
Right. So yes.
Yeah. And so I was friends with
And John
Some,
went to private, what's it?
Prep.
Jesuit
Jesuit, yeah.
school. I went to public school, but my sister went to the
So I went to
girl
it. I went to
version.
an all boys high school, and there was an all girls high school that was like our sister school.
So we didn't have any interactions or passings.
No.
Yeah.
And I never knew your sister.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
But you knew.
I knew
Tom?
Well, I knew Tom and Megan,
Right.
and they're now married, and I think they have a kid.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, I never talked to him. He never talks to me. He never posts on social media either. But
And how are you supposed to know what people are doing if they don't post on social media?
well, I don't talk to anybody, so
Yeah.
I sent Steve this song that had a cool riff the other day. That was yesterday.
No
But-
reply.
No, he replied.
Oh, okay.
So Jesse did not know
Wait.
that about your sister.
Well,
Because you were older
yeah.
and not as cool.
Was Jesse not a cool kid?
I don't know.
He's a theater guy.
I remember in our high school yearbook, they showed like a picture of somebody did like a sculpture of like a Greek piece of architecture, and the caption was like, I need to go find it, but it said like from the play Grease, like meaning like Grease,
Yeah.
but it was like Greece, like the country. Anyway, funnier in my head.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Oh, the gas line was already there, but it had a leak.
Ah.
That
Well,
sounds a lot more manageable
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
to repair a leak. Though gas is dangerous though, because like the worst thing, like if we mess up something with the septic tank, the worst thing that could happen is like poop flood, which would be most unpleasant, but not like
Catastrophic.
danger of blowing up the house.
Right.
So, good for you that you were able to take that on. I don't think
Yeah.
that's a thing that I would do.
And Jesse, what class were you? I was 2004. So, that sounds so old.
Anyway, well now there's like
Class of 2004.
and if somebody was born in 2004, they'd be old enough to like buy alcohol by now, right?
No,
Not quite.
but my 15-year high school reunion was 2 years ago.
Oh,
wait.
three, Jesse
Yeah,
says.
so just 1 year older. Wow.
Yeah. You need to have an engineer sign off on a septic system.
Yeah, but I could probably dig the hole. But anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's none of it's
Yeah.
happening right now.
No,
Because
not
before
relevant.
we were to try to turn this house in,
Getting that.
yeah.
Looks like we might have buffered for a second. But that's fine.
And says talk about old Rick and me.
Class of 1962.
Wow.
But Rick, and you're still out here helping us stretch fencing,
I know,
man.
right?
Like,
Isn't that amazing? Oh, I should hope to be so healthy.
yeah. All right, I'm gonna
Ready to
go put the chickens
Yeah.
away and have some dessert.
Okay.
Speaking of healthy.
Dessert time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, everybody, thanks for hanging with us.
Yes, thank you. And I'm glad
Fireside
this.
chats.
I'm glad the fireside chat worked out well.
S'mores mukbang next week. Get
Yes,
stoked for
For
it.
sure. Make sure you all stop by, and we'll see you next time. And stay tuned for Friday's video.
Bye. Have a good night. Thanks for coming.
Adios.
Appreciate you.